Indiana Jones. It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute, the podcast in which we celebrate and discuss the film Raiders of the Lost Ark 1 minute at a time. I'm Tom Taylor from IamTomTaylor.com.
I'm Pete Mummert from PeteRemembers.com.
I'm Shishak.
And as you can hear, Shishak and the rest of us are joined by Christy Porter, who's returning to hang out with us.
Hi, guys.
Hey.
Yay.
Yay. And happy 4th of July, everybody. As far as I can tell, this is posting on the 4th of July. I can smell the hot dogs. I can smell the burgers. All right. But first, we have to deal with minute 46. That's right? 46?
Yeah.
Okay. Minute 46 begins with Belloq laying out his plans for the Ark and ends with Uncle Indy being saved by a bunch of kids.
What I loved at the very beginning of this minute, Indy questions Belloq and he says, "What about your boss, der Fuhrer?" And when he says that, Belloq looks around sort of furtively, like, "Oh no, don't bring that up." And I was wondering, you're like, okay, so we see that Belloq isn't really cool or happy that he's working with the Nazis on this, and it reminded me a little bit of Lando Calrissian.
Oh.
I just made a deal that's going to keep the Empire out of here. But it made me think, okay, so really Belloq's, he's under the auspices of the Nazis, and he's not that cool with it, even though he's kind of a bad guy. And then it made me think, oh, what about Indy? So he's working, for the feds, for Porkins. And I don't know. I guess he seems okay with that.
I get, yeah. Well, first I wonder if Belloq is even not okay with it, or if he's more just not okay with everybody hearing about it.
Yeah, I thought he was more like he was kind of scared. Oh, I don't want those guys to hear that I'm...
Right,
well,
yeah.
Who exactly does he think is overhearing, in the middle of this little town? I mean,
Right.
That just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I guess I don't understand it. You're right. He is uncomfortable. And what I noticed about this is that he's trying to curry some favor with Indiana Jones. He's trying to be the same as Indiana Jones. He's trying to say, yeah, we're alike and so forth. And one thing that made me wonder is what does Belloq do in the real world? Like Indiana Jones is like an academic. What does Belloq do? He doesn't work for anybody. Can you be like a consultant archaeologist or?
It kind of seems like that's what he is. Like, the Nazis are paying for him this time, and maybe Mussolini will need him next or something. I don't know.
If you go to Paris and you look in the yellow pages under archaeologist,
Yeah.
he's
Yes.
the first guy.
Yeah.
It's
Triple
like
A
Belloq. Yeah.
That's it. Exactly.
Better call Belloq.
Well, you think, I mean, he's a little bit, you're kind of like, what does a remora eel do? What do they do in their regular day? And you're like, well, that's what he's doing. He just waits for Indiana Jones to go get the stuff, and then he takes it, and then he sells it on the market in Marrakesh.
So he's
So
lazy.
it's like he's organized.
Or lazy.
I wouldn't call him lazy, though, because unlike Indy, he seems to know a lot of ancient languages. He seems to know a lot about history and archaeology.
Well,
So
I think he knows how to manipulate the situation. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I go with. I mean, he's lazy in the sense that he doesn't get his hands dirty, which we've established. He doesn't get his hands dirty, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't make a decent living. I mean, look at his outfits.
well, exactly. That's actually why he stays so perfectly pressed in linen.
Yeah.
Because he won't get his hands dirty.
I have a more confusing question about the first moments of this minute, because we're talking about how, Belloq is working for Hitler and everything, but that's not even what Indy Indy actually says. What about your boss, Der Führer? Like you can see he makes a B. He makes a B when he's saying Führer. And it's always
a little inebriated.
Like as a 10-year-old kid, I was like, oh yeah, didn't they call Hitler like the Führer or something? But then, oh wait, but Indiana Jones said it with a B. So I don't really know what to think. I'm getting confused.
It's like the Hitler Beanie Baby, the Führer Bear.
Yeah. Maybe that's his pet name for him. Hey, Führer Bear.
Hey, Fur Bear. Or maybe a Furby, which was more like a gremlin with a battery, So,
Right.
Good point. Good point. Well, I would like to know how he went from drunk to not too drunk.
He was on the edge of death and about to shoot a guy and stuff, and that'll same as Marion. Marion got pretty sober as soon as Indiana Jones showed up.
Good.
Yeah, but Marion's like a professional when it comes to drunk and sober.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, she's really good at that.
Well, she does make a living at it. It's true.
Yeah, she actually makes a living at it and gets her hands dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And still has
stays-
nice outfits.
I was gonna say keeps her her outfits pressed. It's true.
This minute has the line in it that I think made my cousin think that this movie was about Noah's Ark, because the commercials included that line. Do you realize what the Ark is? It's a transmitter. It's a radio for speaking to God. And so yeah, my cousin's like, it's like about the Noah's Ark and you can talk to God or something. I'm like, all right, let's go. Sounds cool.
What do you think Belloq wants to say to God?
Yeah.
Hi, God, it's me, Belloq.
Aren't I doing a good job being a cad and a crook and a murderer and a yeah? Why does God want to talk to him?
Well, he says Hitler's not going to actually get the Ark until Belloq is, quote, finished with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, what does that mean? I mean, he's not going to sell it, right?
Right.
So is he going to open it up and then, hit the little button on it and be like, hello, God.
Yeah.
Come in, get testing.
God, come on back.
Yeah, it's a radio for speaking to God,
Right.
which of course you wonder, well, wait a minute. Is it?
No, there's no such evidence that this is anything like a radio for speaking to God. For instance, when God spoke to Moses, for instance, with the actual tablets, the Ten Commandments and whatnot, was he listening to what Moses had to say about the whole business? No, he was not. So, and there was no ark at that point, right? So it's not like the tablets are a radio for talking to God. It's not like, why would the ark be some sort of transmitter? It wouldn't, unless...
God is a notorious monologuer too. Like, I don't even know why you'd want to.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Well, I thought, look, let's call it out here. The burning bush was actually the radio to God.
Yeah, but it burned.
Although
actually, it didn't burn.
Oh.
By the way.
Well, I think that by the time
wow.
of the temple, the ark was the dwelling place of God. Like he would live in that temple, above the ark. So in a sense, they could be like that. Maybe that's where he hangs. He thinks that's where he hangs out.
So you'd go into the temple and then speak to God?
Yeah, the high priest would go in one day a year and speak to God.
Well, okay, but there's nothing that if God is actually in the upstairs there, then you don't need the ark.
Right, you don't need the radio. Yeah.
No, you don't need a radio. I think that Belloq is just all about the technology, and this would be like using an iPhone 7 to talk to God. That's what I'm thinking. In contemporary terms, is what I'm saying.
Thanks for dating the podcast now.
Yeah, really.
Sir.
Oh,
7.
sorry. I mean 9. iPhone 9. Beg your pardon.
What is this, Buck Rogers? iPad 7. Oh my gosh.
I meant 9.
It's weird. I still think it's weird that he's talking to God and religion anyway, because he just got done saying, A, archaeology was their religion, and B, things in archaeology were generally just worthless things that cost $10 that you bury, and then they're worth something because of that.
Right.
It's
sort of
clear
strange.
he's conflicted.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt about it, and that's why he's competing with Indiana Jones. He wants his cooperation. He wants Indiana Jones' admiration, but he always has to make him feel like small and be the smartest guy in the room.
He's also smoking a hookah and drinking at the same time, so maybe that's messing with him. I don't know if you're supposed to mix those two. I don't know.
I think it's weird. I think he's embarrassed that he's working with the Ferber.
The Ferber.
I think he's embarrassed. I don't think he just didn't want anybody to know. I think because he gets upset when he says de Ferber, your boss.
I'm going to laugh each time.
Yeah, well.
So you think he was trying to cover, like, oh, actually, I just want to talk to God.
Yeah, a little bit. The one, one of the biggest things here, and I'll keep pounding it home. The good guys and the bad guys, whoever, they don't do their homework on the Ark of the Covenant and what happens. By the way, I'm not saying I did all my homework on it, but I know that if you're not in good graces with the big man upstairs, you're gonna get shishaked. It's gonna happen. Yeah, you have to either be the chosen people, and you have to be the chosen people in good graces. And everybody else historically is in trouble. And so I don't know. I think didn't the Philistines get it once and they did okay once for like a week or something. And then the Hebrews got it back.
Yeah, it started making their idols like fall on the ground and break. And then they put it on a cart with some cows that brought it back.
You can't just walk up, find the Ark and be like, hey, everything's all good.
Right.
No, that's true. That's true.
You think Belloq should try to talk to God just by, helping old ladies across the street instead?
Probably. Yeah.
I think so.
He should Cub Scout it up. Yeah. Good point.
Well, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just saying, all these guys are experts on the Ark. You think they'd cobble that one together?
Well, none of these guys is an expert on the Ark. Is the crazy thing. These seem like the funniest guys to be looking for the Ark.
Well, that brings up a different question, and that is, why does Belloq even bother talking with Indiana Jones? Why do they even mess with each other in this scene at all? Belloq shows up, and he actually could just go about his business without, with his Der Ferber guys and so forth. And he doesn't need to sit down and meet with Indiana Jones at all. Indiana Jones is actually behind Belloq in this scene. Belloq's like out front.
Yeah, but it's clear, by the end of this minute that he was, every single person in this bar has a gun that they're about to use on Indiana Jones, except, by the way, for that Luger that we saw last week. I was looking really hard for that one since we saw it. Christy, I don't know if you remember, there's like in the foreground right after Indiana Jones sits down with Belloq, you see the monkey being handed a gun, like way in the foreground. And I never understood that. But these guys convinced me that, it's just sort of like there are guns present in the room and they're going to come out at some point. But that gun never does. It's all like these, machine guns or rifles or something, and no pistols. But so maybe the monkey made off with it or something.
I would have liked it better if the monkey actually had taken the Luger and done something with it. I would have appreciated that. That would have been a good time.
Well, I think Belloq makes the classic bad guy mistake here, which is like, okay, he's going to kill Indiana Jones, obviously, but before he does, he's going to let him know how he feels about the whole thing, and he's going to call him out on this and call him, and that is what gets, I would imagine, gives Sallah some time to come up with a plan B.
Yeah, by the way, Salah's plan B is to send his kids into a place with nothing but guns and hope that the guys have a sense of humor enough to not mow them all down.
Six children as human shields. Is this a good idea?
Better than U.S. Marines.
Yeah,
better than the U.S. Marines.
Mm-hmm.
That's hilarious.
But I love that all the guys just bust out laughing as soon as they see the kids.
Yeah. Like, it spans minutes, that laughter. They just keep on going. And the Belloq is like, next time it'll take more than children to save you. And it's like, well, what's going to be different next time? Like, why are children stopping him now? Why are they saving Indy this time?
That's a good question, considering that that's the most heavily armed they are. I mean, it's very close quarters. He's inebriated. Indy's inebriated. I mean, it should be pretty easy to take him at that point.
Maybe he's thinking next time I'll just hire guys who don't think the kids are so hysterical, and they'll do the job that I hired them to do, and it'll be sweet.
Well, what's fascinating is you see Belloq here. He's normally so prepared. And what's interesting is, I was surprised that the kids come in, they save Indy, and it made me think, I can't believe, Belloq kind of got took in this situation, and he doesn't, quote, speak children. I mean, it's like he's so well prepared. And if you look at this minute, he's actually maybe the only time so far he's visibly agitated.
Yeah.
And it's kind of rare because he usually is on the winning end of the winning end of those situations. And in this one, he lost.
And it's almost the identical scene as the one with the Jovitos. Like as soon as Indiana reaches for the gun, everyone aims a gun at, or a bow and arrow at him.
That's right. That's right.
It almost seems like Belloq has again chosen the right friends, but maybe he hasn't, because these guys are just tickled pink by a room full of kids. It just gets them all flustered, or they can't turn into decent gunmen.
And that German guy looks so disgusted in the background.
Yeah, he's like, for crying out loud, we Germans know how to handle this stuff.
Well, he's wearing the wrong accessories altogether. He's got a dark hat with a light colored suit. I mean, that just doesn't make any sense at all, right there.
It was the 30s.
He's still. No.
Well, all right, that might do it for minute 46.
Oh, no way. This has one of the best lines.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
I was going to bring it up.
And there's a line that I always have wanted to use on those pesky missionaries when you're walking to 7-Eleven and they stop you on the street and they ask you if, do you know God? Do you talk to God? And I just want to look at him straight and say, you want to talk to God? Let's go see him together. I've got nothing better to do.
And then you kill him.
Well, yeah, that's kind of churlish, Jared. Honestly.
You go get a Slurpee.
Yeah. This is my God.
You got to make those
half Coke, half cherry.
You got to make those same crazy eyes Indy has there, too.
Yeah, he's so nasty when he delivers that. He's like, I've got nothing better to do.
He fully means it.
He looks just like Nasty Canasta. Do you guys know Nasty Canasta? Well, of course you do. Of course you do.
He does look exact. And you're like, how far we've come from Professor Jones.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. There are no glasses in sight in this scene.
One more thing.
Oh, jeez. No, go ahead.
No, we were talking a lot about Belloq and Indy in the last couple minutes mirroring each other and who's in the shadow and who's in the light. And I think it's interesting that this minute ends with Indy stepping out of the shadows and into the bright light.
Oh, like the children have helped him back into the light.
It's like something changed right here.
I'll have to pay attention to that.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that carries through for the rest of Indy's life or not. He's changed his faux archaeological ways. But Pete, can you tell all these nice people how they can get in touch with us if they want to let us know if they've chosen the light over the dark side of archaeology?
Yeah, just come visit us on Facebook under Indiana Jones Minute, or check out our website. And thanks for listening. We appreciate all of you listening, and it's fun talking to you.
Go eat a hamburger, go eat a hot dog, celebrate our nation's birthday. Well, people are around the world. It's America's birthday. Enjoy that, I guess, if you want to.
You don't have to.
You don't have to. You know what? Have a hot dog or a hamburger if you want to, but you don't have to. It doesn't have to be an expression of anything. They're decent foods. If you happen to be stateside and you feel like expressing a love for your country, you can say, hey, happy 4th of July. This is a delicious hamburger. Otherwise, just ignore everything I said. But please come back tomorrow when the date is not sticky at all. And we'll be discussing minute 47 of Raiders of the Lost Ark here on the Indiana Jones Minute.
Fur bear.
What about your boss, Furby Bear? Boo-boo?
I've got nothing better to do.